If you're a fan of softball, then you are going to love the Fastpitch TV show sponsored by Easton Sports. Now the man that knows more about softball than anyone on the planet, your host, Gary Leland.
Hello and welcome to the Fastpitch TV show. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, or another video sharing site, please check out our website, www.fastpitch.tv. Not fastpitchtv.com, just fastpitch.tv. It's the place to find all of our past episodes, and it's a great place to keep up with our future episodes too. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Easton Sports. The truth is, there is a difference. The difference is Easton. Please check out their website at www.eastonsoftball.com. Now this week, I have another interview. It's the last of my interviews from the College World Series this year. This interview is going to be with Lou Harris of the Georgia Bulldogs, head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, as a matter of fact. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get straight to the interview with Lou Harris, coach of the Georgia Bulldogs Fastpitch team. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us today on the show, and I'm kind of curious on our fans. How did you originally get into softball?
Well, I've been playing since I was 7 years old and been part of the game for a very long time, and it just ended up being something that I love to do. I love being around the young student athletes. They keep life fun and enjoyable.
Well, how did you really get into coaching then?
I started coaching as a volunteer at Western Illinois University with Kathy Veroni. She's a great coach. I played for her, and I very much enjoyed what we were doing there. And so as that became to be something that I enjoyed, then I decided just to continue to pursue that as a career.
And has there been anybody in your life that's been really important in softball to you?
You know, I don't know if I knew it at the time, but looking back, I know it was my father. And then Tricia Mendoza and Kathy Veroni were also very important in what I've been able to do.
That father one is an answer I get an awful lot. There are an awful lot of fathers that helped a lot of daughters get into softball.
You know, that's for sure. I mean, I can remember pitching with him in the backyard and him putting up a big carpet for me to throw against and then telling me to hit targets with my eyes closed. And I can remember those kind of things and what a big impact that made when I was able to play ball.
Has there ever been a moment that you'd say is like that softball moment in your life you'll remember forever?
Oh, I wouldn't say there's just one. I'd say there's a lot of great memories, and it's just kind of the life you lead, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay. Now, if I was wanting to come to Georgia and play, I was a softball player, what would you recommend I do as far as trying to get seen by you? Because, you know, that's an awful tough thing. There are an awful lot of players that never even get seen, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, it's extremely hard, especially now that there's that 50-date calendar that really makes it tough when we can only go out 50 days a year. You know, if two of us are out on the same day, that's two of the 50, and so you end up having that problem. You got to play on the right teams that play in the tournaments that the coaches are able to go to, and then come into camps. You know, I wouldn't have said that in the past, but these days with the 50-date limitation, it is some way that you can put yourself in front of different coaches and different programs.
Okay. And who would you say, in your mind, would be the greatest softball player of all times?
Oh, I'd have to say Lisa Fernandez. Her mental game is extraordinary. You can't beat that. And not only is she incredibly mentally strong, she's also physically talented.
I get that answer an awful lot too. And yeah, she's an awful player, awful good player.
Yeah.
And so now, do you have any? If I was a new coach starting out a select team, what would you recommend me as any tips you might give me as a new coach?
You know, I'd recruit student athletes that have great character, that are really good people, and that love the game, because you're going to be around these people 24/7, so you want them to love it as much as you love it, and you want to be around good people every day.
What would you say would be your favorite practice drill?
Two-lane hitting.
And can you tell me what that is?
That's where we have two coaches throwing BP, and we've got hitters going hitting against us, and we've got people playing live defense, and it's really kind of, at first you're like, whoa, that's a lot going on, but we really get a lot done in a short amount of time. We get great swings off of live BP, and we get great defensive reads off of live BP.
Okay. Now we have two questions from our Facebook fans. One of them is, what do you think about the new strike zones and how the strikes have been called up here from what's happened so far?
You know, I don't really pay too much attention to what's being called. You know, once the game starts, you know what you have for that game. Sometimes it's a little different than other times, but that's part of the game and part of the sport.
And the other question was from parents want to know, when do you think kids should start playing select ball? At what age?
You know, I think that kids need to play a variety of sports. I think that you find kids specializing too early. I think that they lose a little bit of their athleticism when they just go one way too soon. So I think it's good to play as many sports as you can, as long as you can.
I interviewed Joan Joyce a few weeks ago, and she was real big on that, saying kids are not, or basketball's great skills that you learn, and so many of these other sports are too. She really thought that you needed to not select one sport real quickly.
Well, and she's absolutely correct, because then they crosses over. You know, team defense and learning how to move side to side and see things going on behind you in basketball can completely help you in softball too when you're working on great team defense.
Now, when kids come to you, new recruits, is there any number one thing that you see that they need development on that they don't have? As overall opinion, you're going, this is what's really lacking on my new recruits.
Well, I think the most important thing is the fundamentals. I think the fundamentals carry over through your entire career. And you want to learn how to throw properly. You know, I think early, you know, we get players that don't throw well when they get to college. And I think it just gets overlooked because sometimes all you want to do is hit. But I think just the fundamentals of the game are the most important to get good at, because when it comes down to the end, it's whoever does the fundamentals the best that usually wins.
Yes, I agree, and I get that answer awful lot. So there must be a lot of kids coming that really don't, as Joan said, they don't watch baseball or softball, and that's what's really killing them. Not like the coaches did when they were young.
That's exactly right. I mean, you know, we love the game. We're always watching the game, but I don't think the kids are out there watching it as much as we are. They're playing it, which I don't blame them. It's a great sport, and it's one you want to play, but the fundamentals are the key.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on the show, and thanks a lot. And is there any sponsors or anything of the team or anything you might want to mention or anything? Or do you have a website or anything you might want to mention for our fans?
We have GeorgiaDogs.com, you know, I mean, whatever, just the same old stuff that's out there, you know.
Okay, thanks for coming, Coach. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much.
No problem.
As normal, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed meeting Coach Harris and interviewing her. Great lady to talk to. She was really nice. And Coach, I appreciate you coming on the show. Don't forget to check out our website again, fastpitch.tv. Visit our fan page on Facebook and become a fan of the show. At Facebook, you just go to facebook.com/fastpitchtv. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/fastpitchtv. And I guess we'll end it with our sponsor, Easton Sports. Thanks for watching.
This bat's great pop, nice through the zone, feels good on the hands. The sweet spot is pretty nice. It's not as small as some other bats. Even if you don't hit it exactly on it, the ball still travels as far as it's supposed to.